Sweet. Gee, there are enemies here that drop blooming purple moss clumps and other moss clumps a lot. I wonder if there's another enemy in the main game that does that an awful lot. Oh god. Do you love Dark Souls' janky jumping system? I sure do. Love doing it at 60 FPS. It gives it a lot. Wonderful. This does not have anything interesting. Or wise. It is just a helmet. A very goofy looking helmet. I think, how much more set do I need to get? Just a chest piece and a leggings. I don't know where they are. I've forgotten. Also, this is not a trap at all. Huh. It wasn't. Isn't that a nice surprise? There's nothing over this, is there? I don't think so. He's still over there just having a wander. He's soul searching. Fairly common hobby in this land. I'm trying to remember where the rest of the set is. It's just sort of scattered around the shop, different little sections. Also want to be careful not to aggro absolutely everything in the forest. Because funnily enough, that's not a good idea. They have cute little watering cans as well. Can I see it? Is it kind? See, as you might have guessed, this is Darkroot Forest. Except it's all been abyssified and gooified, and things are not what they seem. There's a crystal lizard over there, I'll come back for you. There's also a thing. Oh, it's just a plant. Those plants are just designed to troll you. You look over there and you think, ooh, item! And it's like, it's just a plant. It's just one of many plants. And I can't get to you in time. Oh well. Oh, that was a whiff. That was a whiff and a half. Uh-oh. Ideally, you don't want to fight two of these guys at the same time. For the obvious reason that they hurt. Luckily, my damage is pretty fucking solid at this stage, so it's nice. They were nice enough to form a nice big combo. Coming over to me. I'm really overestimating the range of that. Now let's have an explore. I'm not too concerned about the crystal lizard. I think it only drops some more twinkling titanite and some extra shit. Nothing really that important. Especially for this character, because I'm basically just using a claymore. So I'm gonna send that down. Just do that. But why am I doing that? I don't need to do that yet. That leads down to the bottom area that leads to this big Colosseum thing. Which, funnily enough, there is a boss in it. This is like the one area where these guys are non-hostile. And they're just going about their daily routine. It's a nice little touch, but yeah, it just emphasises that yeah, these guys are not really guards, they're gardeners. And they do gardening from time to time, and they're not going about murdering you. Go get him, champ. You're the real champion of the land. The ordinary bloke. Nah, those are gold coins. They are really not worth picking up. And if you want to, I don't really care. So I think we've pretty much done everything in this little bit here. Could be wrong, but for the most part I think that's it. So let's go have a wander down. And there's our boss. There's another path down there. Totally not significant in any way whatsoever. Never. I'm trying to remember if there's anything down this way. I don't think there is. No. Just a big old empty area. A little something. This is an extra path down here that you can go down if you want. Not going to do it now. Mainly because there's not really much point at this stage. I might do it at the end of the video. Just to show what's down there and what sort of things happen, but that's more for later. It's a strange man over there. Strange tire. It's a peculiar man from a different time. Perhaps a homage or a reference to a future project that FromSoft may or may not have been working on at the time they were developing this.
Let me guess. Snatched by a shadowy limb and dragged off to the past?
No! No, no, what are you on about? You're seeing things.
Oh, well, my mistake. But we're both travelers. We ought to help one another out.
So this is a trader in the DLC, if you want. I'm gonna say this outright. Everything he sells is sold by another merchant in the main game at a cheaper price. But if you're in a hurry or you just want to dump some souls so that you don't care about losing things, you can go and buy stuff from him. I'm actually gonna go and buy 20 of these. Only because I wouldn't mind something from pulling enemies. But he also sells some bones. He sells some humanity at an outrageous price. Like, don't even bother. Some more of this. I don't really need that much more. Does he have anything interesting to say, though?
Did you happen across Knight Artorias? The legendary Abyss Walker from the old tales? Well, if you haven't, it's just as well. He's a colorless sort, if you ask me.
Wonderful.
So, what did that giant mushroom make you do? Not that I care. It's none of my business.
That sounds incredibly trustworthy.
I've little to talk about, really. Oh, you know me. What do I know?
Such a remarkably coy man. Anyway, that's him. He does something a bit later that, you know, is a thing that happens. But first, let's do this. And look, the shortcut I mentioned earlier is right here. Nobody saw that one coming. Never happened before in the Souls area. I don't know why I'm being remarkably facetious today. Just in one of those lazy moods where I'm like, stuff's happening. Never see that happen. But now let's actually get on to something interesting. I'm not too worried about these souls, so I'm not going to go back and bank them. My equipment level. That's fine. So let's go and pay this wonderful chappie a visit, shall we? I mean, he's full. I'm sure it's going to be fun. I'm sure he's going to be a cakewalk. We beat the Manticore to get here. What's worse than a Manticore? I want my money. So, wow, that tracking. This is what's become of Artorias. He's kind of an asshole now. Oh, his tracking is, compared to all the main game bosses, absolutely fucking insane. He is not gonna miss you. He's basically just... It's like, oh, you like counter-attacking slow-ass bosses? Well, here's an enemy that's gonna be the bane of your fucking existence. Which is why he's actually one of the, first off, more memorable bosses of Dark Souls 1, but also one of the most loved. He's not necessarily the hardest one, but he's certainly one that takes some getting used to. He's no pushover. Oh, and something I should mention. If you can break his poise like this, you stop whatever the hell he was trying to do. Guess what he was trying to do? Was it cause pain? Yes. He was buffing himself to cause more pain for you. Because he's a nice chap. You can use that, like, raw bit to, like, go and heal and stuff, but honestly, he does it so irregularly that there's not really much point. And he usually doesn't follow that up. Watch him follow it up and completely make a fool. That was a poor move by me. He's also exceptionally agile, so it can be really hard to punish him for his moves. If you can, you want to try and bait out some of his more delayed attacks, because they usually have a lot more recovery time. You can also use his power-up stage, but it's really a better idea to go and just attack him to stop him powering up. Especially if you're getting hit quite often. Oh, shit. Oh! Oh yeah, and that sides move? Big pain in the ass if you're used to dodging sideways. Also that hurts. So does this! A lot. And he can follow that up about 3 times. Which is why I'm not punishing it all that much. What? Yeah, okay. He's being frugal with his rolling today. His anime flips. He says as he just spams. Are you kidding me? Artorias, please. Boom. Farewell. Now, I was not expecting to do that first time round. The first time I played through this area in Fort Artorias, I already knew what I was getting into, but god damn, it just took forever. He was beating my ass off. And with certain builds, he still does that. This character does have a fairly solid amount of damage, as well as the fact that I'm fast rolling with a lot of poise and such, so that makes things much easier too. How long have I been running this? I don't actually know for sure. I'm just gonna do a quick double check. Oh, okay. Well, one of the first things I'll do then is I'll go back and show that stuff off that I into that area. There's not much there, just a few extra goodies and a hint at a later area. But I want to save this next bit for like I said, I don't really need health for next set, because I wasn't expecting this to be done as quickly. Also, down this way is, this was originally basically the arena if you've seen like the arena from Dark Souls 2, except this one was extremely, extremely unpopular. And funnily enough, the area that's next to it is the one that became the big PvP hotspot. And that's because invasions are really easy and convenient to do, and in this area, if you die, you can just go and pick up your souls and you don't really lose all that much. But this area was largely... I'll show off, I guess, a bit about how it works. But basically, you go here, and you're sent into this little place here, the Battle of Stoicism Arena. How it was supposed to work... I just keep getting these fucking prompts all the time, they're really fucking annoying. I will sort that out in a minute. Jesus. Is that you wait here for somebody to come in. It's basically FromSoft's first attempt at matchmaking, and funnily enough, its connection was dreadful. It did not work terribly well at all. It did work sometimes, but not all that often. So you'd connect to somebody, this would come down, and then you go fight them in the arena down there, and it's all good fun. You don't really get anything out of it though. And I think that's another reason why people just didn't adopt it. Because you could just do invasions and get like humanity and souls instead of just doing this. So it's a shame. It was a nice idea, and it was done a little better in Dark Souls 2. But that's what that was all about. It's just a little bit interesting. Now we have this person over here. How peculiar. Got some sick heels. Cute ponytail and that. I wonder if they're important or something. Nah. You can see she's got like a cute little grave with Artorias' little tassel. Can't remember what the actual name of that is, but here is a choice. Like with a lot of boss souls, you can get a weapon out of Artorias' soul. But also, it seems he was defeated and his honor preserved by some unsung hero who is the true victor over the abyss. Gee, I wonder who that could be. Well, they kind of decided to just scrap all of this and just beat the game without doing that. So, yeah, a little inconsistency, but whatever. Alternatively, if you don't want to kill this person, you can talk to them.
You? Is that not the soul of the man who fell on this spot? He was a dear friend. I wish to pay proper respect with that soul. Would you be willing to part with it?
I was originally not going to do this because I wanted to use this weapon to make the Abyss Greatsword, but after I decided to use the Artorias Greatsword, I have no use for this.
Thank you. You are very kind. Please take this. I no longer need it.
And
May
this
the Lord guide thee.
Is what you get for your trouble. These two quite notorious weapons. This is number one. Curved sword used by the Lord's Blade Kieran, one of Lord Gwyn's four knights. That's who she is. Branches her sword in a mesmerizing dance, etching the darkness with dire streaks of gold. I don't have enough dex to use this properly. That doesn't matter, I can still show the moveset. Standard Falchion R1s. Lovely and spammable. And you have this, which is a very fancy R2. As well as this. It's a bit fancy and dumb, you don't really need to use it. But people who use this mainly just spam on. It's still really, really solid though. Like a genuinely good dex weapon, one of my favourites. But it also has an interesting moveset, because Kieran uses this in her offhand. And it gets a very interesting move set when it is. You have this as your R1, which is pretty neat for catching people in roll, I guess. It also has this, which is the R2. Again, pretty fancy, but it's still interesting. And then, oh, excuse me, you have the Dark Silver Tracer. I've been rudely interrupted, so I might have to cut this short. It's a dagger, a very good dagger. Its crit is insane. Like, absolutely insane. Yeah, there we go, 160. So that's 160% like extra damage, I think, or something like that. It's absurd. This does poison damage. Does it? Does it not? Yeah, it's supposed to have poison. It's just not showing up. Bizarre. And this does a hell of a lot of bleed as well. So that's that. They're very fancy. Can't use them yet, but that's what they're for. So that's the trade you make. Or alternatively, you can just kill her for armor and stuff like that. But that's that. I was originally going to show off the that area down there. I'll just do it next. That's fine. And when we come back, I'll still be in this area, and yes, I will be human because there is something I want to show off, and I'm sure a lot of people who know this game are like, PvP, stuff like that. Yep, I'll do that. It's alright. But for now, I'm just going to leave it there. So farewell.